Hello everybody and welcome to this latest episode of The Money Man. Now today I'm going to show you two previews. The first one is going to be the new £50 polymer banknote released by Ulster Bank in Northern Ireland, and it's an absolute beauty. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I've got an incredible surprise for you. I've got some really hot news straight off the press. I'm going to show you a preview of an incredible new entire series that is due for release later on this year. So stick around to the end of the video for that. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Here we go. Alright guys, let's not waste any time, let's get right into it. You probably remember that Ulster Bank have been responsible for issuing an absolutely fantastic polymer series of pound notes. We started off with the 5, which was absolutely incredible with that crisp, clean blue, wonderful images on. Then we had the 10, which looks absolutely wonderful in these autumnal colours. And then we had the 20 with this incredibly bright purple theme palette. It's absolutely wonderful. What is going to be next? Well, of course, it's going to be the £50 note, and that is what I'm going to show you today. And it's probably, and I say probably, I'll explain why later, it's probably going to complete the series, and it looks phenomenal. Guys, here it is, the new £50 polymer note from Ulster Bank. Looks like this. Now, the preview, the quality of the image is not that incredible. I think this will look much more vibrant when I have a real example to show off to you. But I'm really already excited because, of course, it's red. It's red, you know I love red. As it should be, because £50 notes are universally red across the United Kingdom now, after the Scottish commercial banks changed them from green to red. So this is really interesting, and this is why I think it might be the final denomination in this series, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But you can see they're continuing with the theme of flora and fauna, and it's really interesting to see the obverse of a banknote not dominated by the vignette of a political figure or a historical figure or a cultural person. You know what I mean? It's very unusual to not actually see that, and I think it's a refreshing change. What is more majestic than Mother Nature? I can't think of anything that's more epic than nature, so why not celebrate it? That's what they're doing in this series, and I think it works damn well. So I'm really happy to see that flora and fauna native to Northern Ireland and other parts of the British Isles is represented, and I think it just makes a really nice continuity. It makes the designs recognisably similar, but there's enough difference in the detail to separate them apart, and I think that's a really nice cool thing. It gives a great continuity to the series. So the obverse looks fantastic, and I'm very happy. The reverse is interesting, and we seem to be celebrating a few things that are particular to Northern Ireland. The first we see is a film reel. Now, filming in Northern Ireland is actually a really attractive prospect for many companies. If you think about shows like Game of Thrones, there were portions of Game of Thrones that were filmed in Northern Ireland, and there are a few other series that I really like. The Last Kingdom, I'm sure that parts of that have been filmed in Northern Ireland, and you might be thinking, well, why is this? Well, Northern Ireland is, it has many parts of it that are exceptional in terms of natural beauty, but also the UK government has created a lot of special incentives for filming and production companies to actually set up there and film things for their shows and their movies. There's like tax breaks and stuff like that, so that's why Northern Ireland has become a really attractive place for the film industry, and there are a lot of very technically gifted people in film production that actually work in Northern Ireland, so it's a fantastic place to film. So that's why I think this is represented on the back of this Ulster Bank Northern Irish pound note. Very interesting, very unusual thing to represent, but if you know a little bit about film and cinema, you'll know exactly why this is on the reverse. And what it does is it sort of like molds into this DNA sequence. So I guess that's representing the biosciences and the developments that occur in Northern Ireland. So very, very on the cutting edge of bio and medical science. And you can see this is supported by this biotechnician, this female biotechnician, working busily on the left side of the note. And you can see that this note is very much dominated by women, which is interesting as well. We've seen the theme of women being very strong in Scottish commercial banknotes, and now in Northern Irish commercial banknotes. So that's an interesting theme to continue with. And then it's sort of, the DNA spiral sort of twines almost into like a lock of hair. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's kind of cool. It's very interesting. Now, further back, we've got these two guys that seem to be dressed up in sort of like, I don't know, 1930s, 1940s clothing. I have no idea what they're doing. Something is telling me that this is something to do with aviation, because in the background of the note, it looks like some kind of aircraft. The front profile of a turbined aircraft, but I could be completely wrong there. I'm really not sure what's going on. If any of you guys are aware of what that is about, do let me know. But there's a lot of stuff going on here. Over to the right, we've got some kind of representation of, I don't know if it's sound, but there seems to be some kind of calculation on the right side of the note, and I'm not sure what that's relating to either. But again, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. So that's what we've got. I think this is going to complete the series, because I think the £100 note from the commercial banks is going to be a thing of the past. It's very rare that people use the £50 notes in the UK. The most used denominations are obviously 5, 10 and 20. I seldom use £50 notes when I'm living in the UK. The only time I use them is when I go back to visit, and I get them from the Bureau de Change. And even when I try and go into shops, they're sort of like, oh, I've got to check it, and they'll put it under UV light and they'll check it, and they'll be like, oh, I don't know if I can accept these. And that's for a Bank of England £50 note, and I don't know why it's such a hassle, but it just is. They just don't like keeping large amounts of money in the till. I mean, I've worked in shops before. As soon as we got a £50 note, we just put it straight in the strong box. And we never complained about it, but for some reason, myself and other people from the UK have experienced this frustration with just spending £50 notes. Just staff are just a bit funny about it. So it's a weird thing about the UK. I wouldn't even imagine what it's like trying to spend a £100 note. I've never actually had one, as the Bank of England don't issue them, and I've never tried spending one in the UK. So I think the £100 might be a thing of the past, especially given the Scottish commercial banks changed their colour scheme to line up with the Bank of England colour schemes of the notes. And that made me think maybe they're going to get rid of the £100. It'll be sad if they do, but then in a way it could be an advantage to collectors, because that means the £50 is the highest denomination, and that's set complete. And I think £100, because of the high face value, it puts collectors off, and the scarcity sometimes becomes an issue, because then people only sell them over face value and stuff like that. So I think the £100 can be problematic for collectors. So it might be a good thing that it's gone. For me, I'm a bit sad, but we'll have to wait and see. We still don't know. If inflation keeps going the way it does, maybe we'll need it. I don't know. But then we all seem to be moving towards a cashless society anyway, which I think is a very, very bad thing, but that seems to be happening anyway, so maybe the commercial banks will just think, there's no point, why bother? I don't know, many thoughts in my brain on this one, but it's interesting nonetheless. Now, I did say, if you stuck around to the end of the video, I had a surprise for you, and I was not lying. I hope you're ready for this. This is hot off the press, okay? In the last sort of 48 hours, the central bank in Jamaica have just announced that they are going to release an entirely new series of banknotes, and it looks bloody epic. Look at this, look at this. I was so hyped when I saw this, because the current generation of Jamaican banknotes is very bland, it's very boring, and I do not like the colour palettes used. The colour schemes are just not good, but this series looks absolutely fantastic, and you can see it's due for release in 2022. Now, there is a press release that I will link down in the description so you can read the full details about this series, but they've carried on with a lot of the imagery from the current series and incorporated it into this new series, which I think is polymer. I don't think it's hybrid, I think it's purely polymer, but it looks fantastic, very vibrant, very interesting. I cannot wait to get hold of this. So let me know what you think about this new series. Are you going to be keeping an eye out for this one? I think it's going to be another incredible addition to this growing family of vibrant polymer banknotes that we can now collect from all over the world. So there we go, that's everything I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button so you get notifications of my weekly videos and you stay up to date to everything that I have to offer for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's the Money Man signing out for now. Bye bye.